So professional Apex Legends player Verhulst had put out a tweet regarding what he thinks Apex Legends 2 would look like and the features that it would have. Given his public popularity, there's always a consensus that when people like this speak, Respawn and EA might listen. The question is, are these changes any good, and do they actually hold any weight? Verhulst says that in 2030, Respawn announces Apex Legends 2 and it has these features. 2030 seems like a far distance away, but it's actually only the lifespan of what you've played of Apex so far, maybe even a little less. He says every game will come with a procedurally generated map as well as procedurally generated guns and legends. Procedural generation, also known as PG, is a method of creating data using an algorithm rather than making it manually. It's a common technique in computer programming that can be used to create a variety of content, including game levels, textures, 3D models, and entire universes. In PG, a developer creates a set of rules and parameters that defines how the content should be generated. The computer then uses these rules and parameters to create the content, which is often a combination of human-generated content and computer-generated randomness. PG can also be used to save time on asset creation during the development process. For example, games like Minecraft and No Man's Sky use PG to create vast, diverse worlds where each playthrough results in a unique landscape. PG can also be used to create content in real time. For example, Left 4 Dead used PG to generate enemies in real time, spawning them in strategic locations based on how well the player was performing. So AI isn't always that bad, including that description I gave you, which was also AI generated by Google. The insinuation here, though, is that Apex could be a more dynamic game with the use of PG. He also said that an advanced AI algorithm continuously would release balance patches every hour based off of social media sentiment. Not sure if I agree with that one, considering a lot of what's out there on social media, especially the ones amplified by big social media influencers, can oftentimes be a whole lot of garbage. Now, the good news here is that cheaters would automatically be banned the instant they try to cheat, as AI can now instantly detect what is human and what is not. The counter to this, though, is that cheaters get so good at making AI bots that can nearly perfect and emulate the aim and game sense of a pro player. Nobody sees the in-game cosmetic shop anymore. Rather, AI generates custom skins based off of individuals' interests based off their Google search and social media usage history. Even the prices of skins are fine-tuned by what the individual player is most likely to spend based off of their Amazon purchase history and other online e-commerce, etc. Interesting thought concept. Is this a good or bad future for the game? Now, if you've been in the community for a while, you probably already know this, but if you're new to the community, you probably have no idea, but the Apex community specifically hates AI. While there could be some good use scenarios for AI, it seems like Apex specifically has a community that is definitely more hateful towards AI than any other community I've met. To give the benefit of the doubt, though, most of the time it is for good reason. Regardless, I think we all can agree that there are some use case scenarios where AI is definitely beneficial. While Apex Legends 2 definitely would be taking a huge directional change in a much different game if it went this way that Verhulst laid out, just because it's drastically different from the current doesn't necessarily mean it's good. I think the use of PG throughout the state of generating the maps and, procedurally generated guns and legends, etc., I think there could be some good use there, but I definitely think cheaters would be problematic because it would get good at detecting but also get good at hiding it. And then I also think that the cosmetic shop stuff would be extremely problematic. Number one, you would saturate the shop way too much to where buying skins don't really mean anything, and you would also probably have to reduce the prices so that people would actually buy as much as it's generating. Then on top of that, you're also making it cheaper for some and more expensive for others. Definitely doesn't seem right. And then on top of that, you got to worry about licensing issues and what will AI accidentally pull out that may be an issue. If you find out that Jimmy's been buying a lot of Chick-fil-A, you can't just go slap the Chick-fil-A logo on Pathfinder and expect it to be all right. For those of you overseas or don't have Chick-fil-A or don't even know what it is, I'm sorry that you're missing out on life. I guess I should say McDonald's. Chick-fil-A's got the best chicken in any fast food restaurant by far, hands down, no questions asked, don't at me. Now, the comment section on this was exactly what I expected it to be. Some saying, Evan, you're a genius, get this man millions of dollars and a licensing deal. Some say it's a complete nightmare. Some saying it would make the game good, and some saying generally good, but balancing off of social media sentiment isn't necessarily good. Now, while it's an idea, it's a talking point, and AI is definitely something to look out for more, it doesn't seem very likely that any of this would ever actually happen, and here's why. A couple of years ago, there were some leaks going around that Apex was reportedly reportedly making an Apex Legends 2 on a very more updated Unreal Engine. One of the biggest gripes and complaints that the current Apex version has is that it was made on a very old engine, therefore it's so limited in what it can actually do. And if we just build it on a new engine, then all of our problems would be solved. Well, that doesn't seem to be the sentiment from the developers, and they actually had put out that we hope Apex is still around for another 20 years and that they didn't see a need for a sequel. So when you go back to 2019, they had the exact same sentiment. Drew McCoy, who's no longer there, saying we are never getting an Apex Legends 2. Never. Now, just keep in mind, they also put this art on their recent trailers because they knew that they've also said Solos is never coming back. And they made fun of that statement because they always said it was never coming back. And then here they go, they changed their mind. So just because they say never doesn't necessarily mean never. Now, they did follow this up again after all of these leaks were going out, saying that there was a new Apex Legends 2 being built on an updated engine. And on February 8th, 2022, we got from GameSpot.com that they specifically said, we don't think of an end game or how Apex will come to its conclusion. And that's one of the coolest things about working on Apex is the fact that it's a live service game. And they said, we don't see any reason to reboot the franchise or put out a sequel. We want to continue to have Apex grow perpetually. We think that there's a lot of runway in terms of the creative space within the universe that we've developed. He also went on to say that there was way more still out there in terms of ideas that Respawn has for the future of the game, and that so many that the team can't plot them all onto a calendar. So right now, there's no plans to sequel it, and there's no plans to sunset it either. We've just got more and more good ideas, hopefully good ideas, and that's why they're so excited. Now, while Verhulst definitely put a lot of stuff out there that makes your brain begin to think about the future of the game, there's a lot of stuff left out of this that I think most people really want to see from an Apex Legends 2 if that were to ever actually happen, or if you could just upgrade the current game. And that is, number one, better server stability. Seems like lag is still a big problem. Bullet registration has always been a problem, and it just seems like the game feels clunky a lot of times. Now, this part sounds weird. It's like a double-edged sword though, because while the game definitely feels clunky and not stable sometimes, I've also never played a game where I felt more comfortable playing on 150 ping. Maybe it's just because I'm used to it and the way Apex works at this point. If you told me I had to play Tokyo or London servers for ranked, I don't really care. Sure, no problem. But if I had to do that in another game like Rocket League or Call of Duty, it's over. I'm not doing that. I think we all have issues with matchmaking and cheaters, but I do think one thing that Respawn could really do, and they seem to be moving in this direction, is recreationalize the game a little more. And you may be wondering, well, what exactly does that mean? Well, two things. Make this feel like a more organized esport or game of public matches or whatever. Like when you were a kid and you signed up for baseball, you got assigned to what was normally a balanced team. You had coin tosses to determine sides. It seems like many of the pro players really love how much more stable the competition has been with the implementation of POI drafts. Ranked is a big problem right now because 8 teams will land on the same POI and it's a huge int fest, and then you derank and it's like, oh, this is so chaotic, this isn't even good practice. Well, it's because it's not organized. I think the fact that we just allow people to land wherever and we don't like sportify it, if that makes any sense, is crazy. If you look at the Apex lore, it's like the Hunger Games. All these people are watching the games, they're tracking the stats of each legend, you got sponsors for the games. It's very much so portrayed as an organized sport, although the game isn't really run like one. The same way pro players get drafts, I would love to see seeding for maybe based off of your rank or KD or whatever you want to do to go through ranked POI drafts so that the game could be more balanced. Make people take it more serious. Give better rewards so that people actually want to play. And another thing was what Deadlock just recently did. You can't just go play and grind rank 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Their rank service is starting on Tuesday, and there's 2 ranked blocks you can play from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time or PST. You have to predetermine the block that you want to select, and you make sure you show up at game time and be ready to play. They gauge your performance and how you do throughout the week, and they give you a rank, and you can go up, you can go down. Some people may not like that, but I think it's a great addition. I'm interested to see your takes on all this. I know we talked about a lot. Let me know down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to see more Apex Legends content like this. And since I mentioned it, we also have a Deadlock channel down in the description if you want to check it out. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and until the next time, we'll see you all later.